If you've been thinking about starting a home lab, take this as your sign. I'm Devin, a cybersecurity student, and this is how I started learning with just $100. You may be thinking to yourself, what is a home lab? Who's a home lab? What's a home lab? A home lab is simply computers. It could be, a server rack if you have that much money to spend. It simply is just something that you dive into, that you learn on, that you break. I know that I've broken mine 1,000 times, and we'll get into that, but a home lab is simply just a place to learn. And I started from a Raspberry Pi, moved on to, a mini PC that I use as my server. I've learned hardware, software, IPs, subnetting, basic networking, DNS, Docker. I've learned VMs. There's so much, firewalls. And when it comes to home labbing, you're going to break things. Those are going to turn into lessons, and those lessons are going to be what you learn from. You're going to have a little bit of patience, but I will dive into what my setup looks like and what you guys can start on, because I seriously started on a $50 little mini computer. So let's get into the setup. Onto my setup, I'm going to show you guys what I actually run. See, I have cybersecurity devices such as like the Flipper Zero. I have a Ponagachi. I have a dual ESP32, but that is not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the boring stuff. They're not really boring, but this is what I started on, a Raspberry Pi 5. It has since got some upgrades such as an active cooler and an SSD hat, where I've put an SSD on. But right now, I run a Lenovo ThinkCentre M900 with a Intel i5 processor. It came with 4 gigabytes of RAM and now has 12. But seriously, that cost me less than $100. The Raspberry Pi was like $50. The Lenovo was about $100, and the Lenovo runs Proxmox. So Proxmox is a hypervisor. It allows you to run multiple virtual machines. Right now I have a Ubuntu server machine running, and it's got Pi-hole, which teaches me, how to block ads, set DNS records. I have Uptime Kuma, which is my monitoring. I have NAN, which is self-hosted like automation. Trafic, which is my reverse proxy. It takes my IP, HTTP URLs and turns them into URLs that I can, search up, say, portainer.lan or something. And all of those can be set up through Pi-hole as well. And I also have Tailscale, which is a secure VPN that runs through my server and allows me to remote into that. Like I said, I started on a Raspberry Pi. I started on this mini computer. I outgrew it, I'm repurposing it, but all of this is accessible through my local DNS. I've learned how to change that. I've learned that when IPs change, I can, change DNS. I can change hard-coded things. And when it comes to a server like this, I very, very, very much recommend installing Claude. Claude Code is going to be your best friend. Pay the $10, $15 a month it is to have Claude Code, because it will help you troubleshoot even when you don't know what you're doing. On to the next point, I'm going to talk about how much you need to start, what you need to start, and I'll teach you, how to keep it budget friendly to start your server right now. When it comes to starting a home lab, you seriously don't need much. What I started doing was I started, researching on YouTube. Hardware Haven is good, Network Chuck. There's so many other YouTubers that will give you so much information. More than me, I'm no expert, but I wanted to get my, expertise out there and show you that it's really not that hard to start a home lab. I obviously don't have a full server rack. I started with a Raspberry Pi that was, $50, $50, $60. That sounds like a lot. And if you don't have that money right now, go look for some old computers, go to the pawn shop or Goodwill, or ask your family if they have old computers. and you can start from there. I have an old MacBook that was like $100 back in the day that I've repurposed into a Kali attack box. It is okay if you don't have the money to go get a Raspberry Pi or go get a mini PC, but I'm giving you the option to see that you can start with a Raspberry Pi, you can start with a mini PC, you can even start with a free PC that your grandma gave you. There are no limitations on where to start. There's no minimum $50 or $20 or whatever. You can even put $15 into it if you find a cheap PC off of Facebook Marketplace, a cheap one that maybe barely runs, and you can learn how to fix it up. You can learn hardware, software. And for my last and final point, I'll kind of teach you what you can learn using those devices. Here's some things that you can actually learn by starting a Homelab. Here's what you actually learn by doing a Homelab. I used to be very scared of Linux and command line because that's how you navigate it. I use it pretty much every day now. Using Linux gets you the fundamental foundational skills on how a file system works, number one, and just being familiar with how to basically speak to the computer. Get it to do what you want to do without a UI or say a GUI. Virtualization is one of those things that is so good. Understanding VMs versus containers versus bare metal is such another good foundational starting point. Alongside that, you're going to learn networking, so subnets, DNS, VPNs, firewalls, stuff that used to confuse the heck out of me makes sense now. I'm no expert, but I could explain certain topics. Security, I implemented firewalls on my Proxmox server that add a layer of security to, a server that nobody was going to get into in the first place. But on that note, troubleshooting. The most valuable skill that I think is learning how to learn and fix problems that may occur. Thinking that every time something breaks, you can dig deeper into how it actually works and learn the fundamentals of, troubleshooting, number one, but also just building things and learning your system. This is the stuff that makes you valuable in IT and cybersecurity anywhere. Next, I will give you kind of a step-by-step on starting your Homelab today. How do you actually start? So I'm going to break it down really easy. Step one, pick a project. Find a project on GitHub, Reddit, something like Pi-hole or a media server, or you just want to learn Docker or automated backups. Don't try to do everything at once, just pick one. Step two, you want to get your hardware. Get a Raspberry Pi, get a mini PC, go find an old laptop or ask your parents, ask friends, family. Step three, find a good guide and follow it, but expect to troubleshoot. Every guide I learned is not going to be 100% smooth. So learn to troubleshoot it for your specific setup. Step 4, Obsidian is my best friend. Document what you learn. I use Obsidian to track everything that I do. Dates, commands, what broke, how I fixed it. Future you will thank you when you're able to search through your documentation and find, hey, this is how I fixed something. Resources such as Reddit community Homelab is incredibly helpful. YouTube channels such as Network Chuck or Hardware Haven are great, or even official documentation. Docker runs you through all their documentation. N8N runs you through every documentation. Most GitHubs will run you through how to install something. To close out this video, I'm going to be really honest with you. Homelabbing is easy to start, but it's not that easy to maintain. You will break things, you will learn things. You'll spend 2 hours troubleshooting something that ends up being a typo or a toggle switch. You'll end up spending so many hours on Google, Reddit, ChatGPT, Claude, but it's okay to not understand everything. Things are meant to be broken, things are meant to be backed up, things are meant to be built, and there's so many things that are going to be normal, that are going to seem, a little bit weird. But I still Google basic commands sometimes. I still have, issues with my server. But 6 months from now, you'll look back at your first setup and think, wow, I've learned so much from this experience and so much from that dang kid on a video sharing about his server. At the end of the day, the frustration is going to be temporary. The skills will be permanent, and I'm literally preparing for a help desk job right now, so I'm not an IT professional, but I just wanted to come here and show you how easy it is to start a home lab. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Leave a like, leave a comment down below on what you think I should go into depth in my next video, but I really hope that this was helpful for you guys, and you better start that home lab. Have a good one.